All right, guys, we have a special guest this week. We have Steph from 49 Carats Podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate the invite.
Yeah, and so just looking at the league, and there's a couple Kyle guys out there, and Robert Salah, Mike McDaniel, Demeco Ryan. Who do you think has the most successful season out of those three guys?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like what Salah's doing in New York. It's impressive. But that being said, like, they're in such a tough division. I mean, the Dolphins are in that division as well. So, man, they got a team, they got a squad, and their defense is good. So I'm rooting for them. You know, I kind of soured on Aaron Rodgers a bit. I'm just like tired of him. But the team in general, and I root for Robert Salah. I think they could be good this year. So I'm gonna say the Jets. But don't sleep on the Dolphins, man. I mean, they're still gonna be good too.
I mean, I think there's a world where the Texans make the playoffs this year with their division not the best.
They could. I think they're probably another year, at least another year or two away. But I really liked some of the moves they made this offseason, some of the players they drafted. Obviously, I love Demeco Ryans too. So I think they're set up really well to, make it in the playoffs pretty soon.
Yeah, and with that, the Niners, they seem to keep finding great talent in their homegrown position players and coordinators. At the end of the day, like, could the Shanahan tree become one of the most impressive coaching lineages, you think?
Now, I'm not one to really like study coaches like that, because I know there's been a long line of really iconic, coaches to be in the NFL, and like their coaching trees and all that. I mean, even Walsh had a pretty large coaching tree. And so, like, I don't know if I can answer that without really knowing too much of all the history of all the different guys. But it's definitely growing rapidly in the NFL. The Shanahan tree is. And so as long as they continue winning in their respective new teams, like, yes, they're going to keep getting opportunities. Their assistants are going to keep getting opportunities, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's all dependent on how they do on those teams. But so far, I think they've all have been doing a pretty decent job, right? So, yeah, I think there's an opportunity, or there's a chance that we see it being one of the more successful coaching trees.
Yeah, especially with the way the league's going. It's looking good for the 49ers and that staff.